Hello friends, it's Candace and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about shameful, all of my big piercing blunders. Maybe not blunders, I don't even know what blunders means, I gotta Google that later. All my big, so you talk about, how do we go about saying this? So, I feel like we all know what we should do with our piercings, and we all know what we shouldn't do with our piercings. But this video is going to be about all the times I just did bad things with my piercings. And don't come for me, because I know we've all done some. I mean, maybe not all the things I've done some pretty bad things, but I feel like we're all guilty sometimes of doing the wrong things with our piercings, even though we know we shouldn't, even though we know better, you know, even if it's not a mistake, it's just, we've all been there, right? I don't know, comment down below if I'm really out of touch. Maybe I'm just a lazy bum. I always like to say I bully my piercings, like I'm literally the worst. And yeah, it's not a good situation. So comment down below, like as you go through this video, you'll see what I'm about to say. Comment down below if you'd like to share some of your piercing blunders, or like like things you've done bad with your piercings that you know you shouldn't have, but you just couldn't help yourself, or you just did it anyway. I'd love to hear it. And let me know if you think it's a good idea. Like I don't know what kind of response this video is gonna get. I don't know if no one's gonna click on it. I'm not really talking about jewelry, but people might watch it. So basically, if this video was successful, definitely let me know down below if you like the idea of this, if you'd like me to share your guys' piercing blunders like in future videos. If you comment down below your piercing blunder and you want to be featured, you can let me know in the comment if you'd like to be featured in a video. I might not say your name, I might just read it out, but let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you're like scared to like share publicly but you want to be part of the video, you could always share it on Instagram. I don't usually like share people's names or anything. If you want to DM me, follow me on my Instagram at CandaceL. Send me pictures of your ears for curations, all that jazz, all my piercing stuff at CandaceL. And before I get into my blunders, don't forget to follow me on my tattoo Instagram as well. I am a tattoo apprentice. I know I talk about piercings a lot. That's just because I love piercings. I am a tattoo apprentice, not a piercer, but I am currently like tattooing. I'm still learning, so go easy on me, but give me a follow. And if you ever want to get tattooed by me, definitely hit me up. That'd be so cool to tattoo a subscriber. But anyway, let's get going in this video and I'll air out my shame. Don't judge me. If you're my piercer, stop watching now. I already told you I bully my piercings. Anyway, let's just get on into this. So I have them written down like in notes on my phone. So if you see me looking, it's because I'm looking so I can stay organized. Anyway, we're 5 minutes in. I haven't started yet. So the biggest one that I feel like we all may have done, like I'm like pretty sure we all may have done, is twisting my jewelry. Who's done it? Who's done it? You could even leave a tally below, like how many of these you've done if you don't want to share exactly what you've done. Oh man, I twist my jewelry all the time. In my like unhealed piercings, I just like go to town. I don't know what it is. All of these are like things I just can't help myself. I just can't control myself. I'm just like hyper focused on my ears and my piercings, and I just can't help myself. I just do it. And sometimes like a hair gets coiled around it and it's a bad situation, which is just one of the reasons why you shouldn't twist your jewelry. But so sometimes I have to like undo it to like take the hair off. It's kind of gross. But yeah, I twist my jewelry way too frequently, and I do it to basically all my piercings, and it's not a good situation. And this isn't like, oh, I've done all this and my piercings have healed. Like, a lot of my piercings still get real grumpy with me, and it's because I bully them. So if you take good care of your piercings, you'll have a lot better luck than me when it comes to healing piercings. But this video is not about what to do. It's about what I've done bad. Beyond twisting the jewelry, I'll also move the jewelry, which is kind of in the same boat. I will frequently like push them forward. I'll feel it to be like, is it swelling? But then half the time it's me moving it around, which causes the swelling. That's causing like irritation for my piercing, which causes issues. So definitely don't twist and move your jewelry, but I definitely do that pretty much every day, and it's a problem. But I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be better, all right? I'm trying to be better. I know what to do. I know what not to do. I just can't help myself. The next thing I do all the time, a little shameful. I was a lot better at this when I didn't have a lot of jewelry, but now I have way too much jewelry, and I'm hyper focused on my piercings and jewelry. So what I do is I change my own jewelry. So like buying the tapers, I bought some tapers so it could help me insert jewelry easier. But in some ways it's like a curse, because I'm just like, oh, I could just change it myself. So yes, I very frequently change my own jewelry. I'll downsize it, it'll swell, and I'll be like, okay, I gotta put it up a size. But I'm like, maybe if I just stop messing with it, maybe I won't have to fluctuate so much. So yes, I've changed my jewelry. Sometimes I'll just change like the tops and I won't take the jewelry out, but most of the time I take the whole thing out. I'm like, oh, it's healed. Oh, it's not healed. Yikes. I just took that out. So definitely listen to your piercer. Don't change your jewelry. That's a big no-no. Hasn't been successful for me so far. The next thing I've done to my healing piercings is, I've actually stretched my piercings before they were fully healed before. I think I did it with my third lobes, which I happened to pierce myself. I don't know if that counts as a no-no, but I did tell that in my piercing tour. Don't recommend. It took such a long time to heal, but somehow miraculously, after I started, it was mostly healed, but I think I started stacking rings in it, and then miraculously after I started stacking rings, that's when my third lobes decided to heal. So go figure that out. I don't know. They must have been on the verge of being healed or something, but I don't know what I was thinking. And beyond that type of stretching, for my antitragus and for my flat on my right ear, I have stretched those both. I know, my antitragus of all piercings to stretch, I have stretched those both up from a 16 gauge to a 14 gauge before they were fully healed, and wore the 14 gauge for like a year. All while they still would not heal for me. I wonder why. But so yes, I have like fully stretched up my piercings a whole size before they were healed. I know, shame, shame, shame. To be fair, that's not that big of a size, but it kind of is, especially when you're talking about an unhealed cartilage piercing, especially when you're talking about an antitragus piercing. And yeah, don't change your jewelry at all, let alone stretch it up, because it hasn't worked out for me. I don't know who else it has worked out for. I guess my lobes, I got lucky, but that is a lobe, so it's a lot fleshier, a lot stretchier than cartilage piercings. Anyway, next thing I did, which I'm not really sure if this is a really big no-no, or if it's just kind of a no-no. I don't know, but my first tragus piercing on my right ear, which I no longer have, it would have bumps. Basically, as soon as I got either of my tragus piercings, they like almost immediately developed a bump before I even had a chance to mess it up. And I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's like my anatomy. I don't know the reason. But regardless, it had a bump, and I did a lot to it. I might also explain things I've done to it down below. But I definitely did the fiddling, the twisting and stuff. But I was basically fed up with it. I'm like, this thing's never going to heal. I had it for so long, and it just had a bump. Like, I couldn't even ever downsize it. Like, most of my other piercings, I was able to, like, get shorter bars in eventually. Like, this one, I had to get longer bars, and it still was, like, swollen. And I didn't know, like, really what to do. So I took it out. But the next day, I woke up and regretted it. and then I just got my taper and I put it back in. So I'm not sure if that really counts as a no-no. It kind of goes in with like taking your jewelry out, but like I thought for sure it would heal or like seal up in some way overnight, but it basically, I could get the taper in like nothing happened the next day. And I put jewelry back in, and it actually settled down after that. Like, I guess the day of no jewelry to irritate it helped it like relax a little. I'm not really sure, but of course the irritation came right back, and I ended up retiring that anyway. So go figure. Next thing I'll say I did, and this is like my, I'm like, I don't even know if I want to put this on the internet, but we're talking about the shameful things you've done with your piercings. This is the one. I don't know. It's not like really graphic, but like, it's not good. It's not good. So everyone at least knows what a piercing bump is, right? Like, you get the irritation, it gets like a bump. Sometimes, I guess it's a granuloma when like the fleshy part comes out, where it's like more like raw flesh instead of like skin, like irritated skin over a bump inside. Sometimes like it's more raw flesh on the outside that I will get sometimes. Not really that much recently, but like it's happened to me, right? So I've never really been one to squeeze a bump that I hear people do. People will say they like use a needle to pop a bump. I know from like all my research that most of the time these bumps are not filled with any fluid, and piercing it or trying to pop any fluid out isn't really going to do much. So I don't know why I thought my idea would be any better, but especially when I had some of those fleshier, like inside of your body is outside kind of bumps. Oh my gosh, this is so bad. So basically I've actually cut my bumps off before. Like, this is probably the worst thing I've done, and it is shame, and don't do it, because it didn't actually help, because the bump came back. The bumps came back. Even if you cut it off fully, it comes back somehow. I'm like, I thought when you cut flesh off it would be gone. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I thought it would work. It worked for maybe a couple days. Honestly, it did. But obviously I caused a lot more irritation, and it was a big struggle. So I have actually cut a bump off of that first tragus piercing, where it was, I think that one was like a fleshier bump coming out. I just took scissors and I literally like cut it off, which is disgusting. Like, I don't have an autoclave. Like, I could have really gotten an infection. Like, you know, this is what I'm saying. Like, I get obsessive and I just can't help myself. It's bad. But I don't do that anymore. I don't really get bumps like that anymore. And other piercings that I've done it for, just 2 other piercings were my first nostril piercings, would not heal. I wouldn't do anything to them. I wouldn't even like spin them, because I know like nostril piercings get bumps, and obviously on my face I didn't want a bump like right in the middle of my face. But for some reason my nostril piercings just had bumps, so I've also tried cutting those off before. Like, I think I tried with a razor blade, like flat, but it kind of just smushes the bump down. And I went at it with scissors and I cut the bump off. But wouldn't you know it, the bump came back. So 10 out of 10, don't recommend that. But I did do it, and it is major shame. You can comment down below if you've ever done that, but I really hope the answer is no to you cutting off your own piercing bump. Ooh. Okay, now that we're through that, I think that's the worst thing I ever did. I would hope that's the worst thing I've ever done to a piercing, because I can't really imagine what would be worse than that. Let me know if you have something worse than that. That's literally, I think that's the reason I came up with this idea. I'm like, I got some shameful stories, like outside of like piercing myself a couple times like years ago. I got some bad stories. But we've got through the worst of it. The next thing I have done to my piercings, I don't really need to hold my phone up like this. The next thing I have done to my piercings before they were fully healed was put rings in it. Now, I do this a lot. I'm currently actively doing it right now. It's going okay right now, but I'm sure that'll change. But pretty much, except for my flat piercings, which I have probably tried. I don't know. I don't think I tried to put a ring in this flat piercing, but this flat piercing I definitely have tried but was unsuccessful. So I've never actually put the rings into my flat piercings, but I have tried. But I think every other one of my piercings that were not healed, I'm pretty sure I've put a ring in it before it was ready. Except for these two front nostrils, because, well, this one I haven't even attempted to put a ring in it, but this one, I couldn't get the ring in it because it was really sore. So at least this front nostril, I didn't put a ring in it before it was ready. But basically, all the rest of my piercings, I've put rings in before they were healed. You know, let them sit for a couple days. Oh, it doesn't like that? Okay. I'll change it back to a stud. A longer stud, though, because now it's swollen and irritated. So definitely don't change your piercings to rings before they're ready, because that's not the move. It won't heal for you. What a struggle. And last but not least on this worst things I've ever done to my piercings list is not properly cleaning my piercings, like not properly taking care of them. So, like, there's things like I put Bactine on my piercings, like even the website, even Bactine's website says not for use on piercings, like it says it specifically on the website. I have used antibacterial soap, but that can be recommended by the APP sometimes, so I feel like I get a pass for using soap, even though it's not generally recommended overall anymore. We're not talking about, like, even piercing pagoda days where it would be, like, the piercing solution, because that's, like, before I even knew any better, so I feel like I get a pass for that. I have used, I have used tea tree oil on my completely, like, open, like scabby, like, it was bad, and the tea tree oil didn't do literally anything to the piercing. Didn't help it at all. I don't know if it made it more irritated, but it was already very irritated to begin with. That's why I was using the tea tree oil. Didn't do anything, didn't help, don't recommend. What else? I must have put other things on it, but I've also been known to, like, not properly clean them because I'm kind of lazy. So I'd be on Reddit a lot, and a lot of people on Reddit are like, leave it alone, leave your piercings alone, and I'm like, oh, if I just don't do anything to them, they'll be okay. So I'll literally just rinse it with water in the shower, like thoroughly rinse it. I'll try my best to thoroughly rinse it, but doing that, unfortunately, doesn't really get rid of the scabs. It doesn't really, like, help soothe or help clean the piercings actually properly. And while piercings don't really need as much as a lot of people think, I think they need a little bit more than just rinsing it thoroughly in the shower. They need a little bit more help than that. And as a result of this, it would cause a buildup of, like, crusties because they wouldn't be able to properly wipe away. I know a lot of people don't recommend, like, Q-tips and stuff, but sometimes when you got a lot of crust, a Q-tip is better than just leaving the crust if it's not falling off naturally in the shower like that, which for some reason, like, some people, I guess they do. For me, my crusties never have, as far as I know, they have never really fallen off in the shower. So nowadays, I try to be a lot better with that. I try to use my saline spray every single day, usually just once a day, sometimes twice a day if I'm being very thorough, but I don't go beyond that. But I have been known to just rinse it in the shower and leave it and not really, like, clean it properly, which has not done my piercings any favors. So definitely don't be like me. Definitely take care of your piercings. Definitely listen to your piercer and the advice they give you. Use saline spray. I recommend a mist. I use Let me see if I can see one. I have so many bottles of saline spray. I think it's called Steri Wash. They have a fine mist. It's cheaper than the Neil Med piercing mist, from my experience, from what I've found. And you just spray it on right before you go into a shower or something. Spray it on, let it sit for a few minutes, then hop in the shower and rinse really thoroughly. What I've been doing is taking some non-woven gauze to wipe away any crusties as gently as I can. That way I'm not like just jabbing a Q-tip at my piercing. And that's actually been really helping my piercings. They still have been acting up, but in a general sense, it's been doing me favors to actually clean my piercings on a daily basis instead of just a water rinse and letting it sit. That's the other thing the non-woven gauze do. It absorbs the extra liquid. So like sometimes after a shower, the extra liquid sitting under like big threaded ends or threadless ends, sometimes that water can irritate your piercing further and you don't even realize it. So absorbing some of that extra liquid, I found, has been helping my piercings do a lot better recently. So anyway, I think that's all I have for this video. I don't think, like, I really thought hard for like 2 minutes while coming up with this list. So I don't think I have anything else, but if you'd like to see more, if I can think of any more, or if you'd like to see what I said in the beginning of the video, if you'd like to see me read off like your guys' biggest like piercing fails, biggest piercing blunders of like things you really shouldn't have done with your piercing, but you did anyway, regardless of if you knew better or not, definitely comment down below if you'd like to see that. And if you just have any stories, I would love to hear and read it, and we can share in the horror together. And trust me, like, I seem judgmental and stuff, and I am pretty judgmental, but how can I judge? Like, I told you what I did. I literally cut bumps off my piercings, so I can't judge you. I can't imagine you did anything worse than that I could really judge you for at this point. Especially if now you've learned and you know better and you're not going to do it again, right? So that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to comment down below anything. Which one made you cringe the most? I know it was cutting the bumps off, but maybe after that one. What one was the worst for you? Which one was your biggest problem while healing piercings? Just let me know. Let me know how you're doing. You can just like say hi. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love you. See you in the next one. Bye. I feel like my freaking lipstick caught everywhere. Man, I'm tired, but I just can't seem to go to sleep because I just stay up all night filming videos now because I want to put out more content. And it's hot in my room even though it's the middle of the winter. Anyway, bye.